to another episode of the Good Guys Podcast. My name is Brandon Dixon. I am a happily married man and a humble father of four. And as always, I am joined by none other than the Honorable, the Reverend Slim Rev, aka Joshua Ezzy.
What's good, BD? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. You know, it's a nice sunny day outside. Mm-hmm. It's Memorial Day weekend, so it's a 4-day for me. So
yeah,
I'm feeling good.
I forgot about that Monday off.
Yeah.
Man, I don't got to wake up for no Zoom calls or nothing.
I was off yesterday too, so I'm fresh. I'm feeling good.
I see you with the T-shirt B on. You T-shirt B today.
T-shirt B today, man. It's getting hot, so.
Man, bro, I hate this time of the year, man.
Yeah.
Everyone loves it, but I don't like it, bro. I like parts of it, man, but this humidity, man. It's a silent enemy. It creeps up on you.
Yeah, humidity's no joke, man. It's a whole different. I'd be out here running. It's a whole different ballgame running when it's cool outside versus running when it gets hot and humid. It's like you get tired like immediately. It's also the time of year that I end up spending a lot of money on the electricity bill, which is why I'm T-shirt B right now, because I'm keeping that thing on 75. So,
ooh, man, I need to get my numbers up, man. My stuff's still on 65.
65? How much is your electricity bill? That thing got to be like $300.
That's why I'm gonna change it up. Last summer it was. Last summer that thing was about $300, man. But that's why, man. Because man, I think I'm trying to fight humidity with the air conditioning.
Hey man, you just gotta put on that T-shirt.
Yeah, man. Because you know what, I rather sweat than to sweat sense. I just don't want my money to be just loosely going away when I could have just suffered yet a while.
I mean, I turn the air on at night. I got to have it on. I turn it down to like 72 at night. But during the day, hey, man, you got to thug that thing out.
Yeah.
75, 74.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I might just have to thug it out, man, because I'm like, bruh. And I think the reason why, man, they need to lift some of these bans, bruh.
That's true, too.
The last
ban. Get out of the house.
Yeah. Anyway, bro, I ain't gonna get into that, man. I just don't like being sticky icky.
Feel you on that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get into today's episode. We've got a good one for you guys here today. But before I do, I always say it. If you haven't done so already and you enjoy the Good Guys podcast, you enjoy the content that we're kicking out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell so that you get post notifications so that you know whenever we drop new content. All right. We normally try to drop on Wednesdays, but sometimes technical difficulties happen. I know this last week, I think we had to drop on Thursday. So hit that bell so that you are notified whenever we end up dropping our new content. Okay. Tell your friends about the Good Guys podcast. Hop in the comments and interact with us. We love going back and forth with you guys. Tell us what you thought about the episode. And if you've got any episode ideas, drop those in the comments as well. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go ahead and get started. And today we're gonna switch it up a little bit. We normally have the airing of grievances, but I don't want to complain every single week.
That's right.
All right.
We don't want to give off the message that we're complainers.
You know what I mean? I'm grateful for the things that he has done.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
Grateful, 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 grateful.
I didn't know if you were gonna catch it. I didn't know if you were gonna catch it. There you go.
Hey man, that's all.
I'm
gonna add that to my top 5 of my worship list for today.
That one goes hard.
When it gets there, when it gets to that point.
Mm-hmm. So no grievances today. We're gonna do the reality TV Chronicles. All right. So for those who listen to the Good Guys podcast on the regular, I'm sure you're aware that my wife and I watch a lot of reality TV, and it's not necessarily my decision, but it's one of those things. All right. When you get married, You have to take on some of the interests that your spouse has. You guys have to find things that you can do together mutually. And I have sacrificed, some of my free time and some of my interests to watch TV with my wife because she enjoys it. All right. And secretly guilty pleasure, I get into it as well sometimes. So we're going to have the reality TV Chronicles from time to time here. A lot of times when we're watching those reality shows, a lot, situations and topics come up that, strike up conversation between me and my wife when it regards to like marriages and relationships. So we're going to talk about a situation that happened in a show we were watching last night. It's Married at First Sight. And I don't know if anyone hop in the comments. Let us know if you watched that show. I don't know what channel it comes on. Maybe Lifetime. I'm not sure. But it's an interesting show. So on the show, basically they get like 4 or 5 couples and, you submit like your information, interests, whatever the case may be. And the experts pair you with someone who they think is compatible for you. So you get married at first sight, like at the altar is the first time that you see that individual.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy. So there was an episode yesterday where a couple who obviously had got married at first sight, and they came across a dilemma.
Of course.
And right, exactly. So the situation was when they first got married at first sight, he had a particular job. I think it was like social work or something like that. He wasn't really making that much money. But like right after they got married, I guess he was already in the interview process or whatever. So he got a job as a principal, making significantly more money than his previous job. Right? So he says, hey, cool, I got that job, sign the contract, sign the offer letter. I start on X day, whatever the date was, right? And then like maybe a week and a half or so later, he tells her, hey, I decided not to take that job. I declined that job. And I've got another job lined up that I'm going to start on X day. So she kind of takes offense to that. And I guess she has questions, right? So she's like, well, what happened? Like, why did you all of a sudden decline this job? You told me that you had accepted the job. You had the offer letter. You start on this day. Now, all of a sudden, you're saying you declined the job and you have another job. I have questions. Why, why did you decline that job? What happened? You had an offer letter. Did the stipulations change? When did you have time to interview for another job? How do you all of a sudden have this other job? So on and so forth, right? So me and my wife were discussing, who's in the wrong here? Because initially, my thought was, well, she's wrong. I'm sorry, he's wrong for not, being forthcoming with the circumstances of his situation with his job. Like, you want to tell your wife these things. She should know what's going on, what job you're interviewing for, how much they're paying, and the ins and outs of everything. But then I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, okay, now in the confines of a regular marriage, I guess that would be normal. But they just met like 2.5 weeks ago. So the debate was, is she in the wrong for, wanting to know all the details of, what happened with his job and, what happened with the first job and why did you decline and this and that? Or is she in the wrong? Because he just met her. Like, do you feel like he needs to let her in on all that information and the ins and outs and the whys at that point in the relationship? Or, does she need to fall back and just be happy, hey, he's got a job at this point? I ended up taking the side of I kind of took his side on this one. Like, I understand that normally in a marriage, yes, you want to tell your wife everything. But if I were in that situation, it's kind of like, I still don't know you. Like, to be honest, I have a job. That's the important thing right now. I have a job. As far as what happened and, you know, the details of the contracts and all that stuff, like, I don't really know you yet.
Oh, you wait.
How do you feel, Jay?
Well, I mean, they both done.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, y'all both are expecting expectations that comes from time. You know, you're expecting something from each other, or you're kind of flowing in a realm that you're skipping steps. If you skip steps, it's almost like it's literally a byproduct. Like, that's what a natural woman would do, a wife would do.
Right.
And that's not a natural thing a man would do. So a man who's married will communicate and say, this is what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. Right. But it's hard to do that if y'all married at first sight when it's actually y'all just started talking. That's the stage that you at. So they both, and I think it's what people do. They want marriage, but they don't want the responsibilities or the requirements of it. And so when you say that you're married, she has all the right to do what she did. He has all the right to do what he did, because technically they're not even married. They're really just started dating. So it's like, technically they're both doing what they're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, that's their problem. They got married at first sight. What you see is what you get.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with the show. And that's why the show is like so fascinating and interesting to watch, because it's like, you know, what not to do. Like, it's so problematic. Like, everything that marriage represents, like you said, you're skipping so many steps, and it just causes so many problems. Like, those are issues that would not exist. Like you said, I don't think that issue would even exist if they had dated prior to actually getting married and you already know the person. So by the time that you're married, no, she's not wrong necessarily in asking those questions, because yeah, you do want to know, you know, that kind of, you want to be involved in those kind of decisions and knowing what's going on. But at the same time, I get it from his perspective too. Is like, I don't know you like that yet. Granted, we are married, but here's the interesting thing. Here's the kicker where it kind of backfires on him. So like the honeymoon, he wanted to do what married people do. And she wasn't ready to do that, because I just met you 5 minutes ago, bro. And it was a problem for him. Like, you know, he's like, hey, we're married. Like, this is what married people do. And she's like, no, like, I need to get to know. I don't know you like that. I don't get down like that. I know we're married, but no.
Ooh, see.
So it goes both ways.
It goes both ways. And I think more people do this more than they think. People are married at first sight mentally. Even though they're not married physically, they're married. So they create these false expectations, because they're married at first sight. So their whole singleness was all about, this is what I would do when I meet the one, quote unquote. This is what I'm going to do when I first. So when you meet that person, you married in your mind at first sight, and you skip the stages of slowing down, pacing yourself, getting to know each other, so that when you have these conflicts in a relationship, you know how to solve them. You know how to communicate through them. But if both ideals get married before the individuals get married, then by the time you get married, y'all both confusing each other. And that's what happens all the time. That's why you got to live in the present. That's why you got to make sure that you deeply understand what is required in a marriage, so that, because marriage, you don't know what you got until you get it, until you in it. You don't know. You don't know what you thought that you was going to have. You was going to be okay in that moment of intimacy, or you thought you was going to be okay at that moment of conflict. But you don't know how you react, because you don't know what your day was going to be like the day you had that conflict. There's a lot of variables, a lot of monkey wrenches in marriage. And if you keep getting set up or in ideals, marrying each other first before the individuals do, and then y'all keep thriving in the ideal category, and you never get to know the individual, when you marry the individual, all those ideals out the window, because now here's the work.
Right.
And so that's crazy. You're married technically, but you scared to play. She's scared to play, which is makes sense, because a lot of people do that. Get married at first sight, and then when the man wants to do some intimacy stuff, she's like, I'm not ready for all these different positions. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ready for all that. And the guy's like, but we married. But she's like, still, I like it like this though. So what do you do when y'all both are in situations of conflict, how do you communicate? How do you get through it? And you can't do that at first sight.
Right. I think the crazy thing is, the show is Married at First Sight, but I think that's what a lot of people end up doing with that. I mean, if we, the time frame is different, but you might have known that person a little bit longer, but you didn't do the work.
Yeah.
You didn't have these conversations.
That's
you
right.
haven't, you know what I mean? A lot of people have these relationships, and the relationship is based off of, surface level things like intimacy, or, they're attractive, they look good, but you don't do the work of getting to know that person, asking the questions, like that J.E. has in his book, Dating Prep, or things like that. Check it out. It's an excellent resource if you're single.
Can't find it.
Okay. I'm sure he'll have the link.
Keep talking.
But if you get married without doing that research, without digging, without asking those questions, you basically are getting married at first sight, because you're getting married on the sight of what you see of that individual, the exterior, the surface level.
What?
You're getting married off
Time
of
out.
first
30
sight.
30 seconds.
You wasn't ready.
Am I rubbing off on you, BD? At first sight, SITE?
Yeah.
Ooh, BD, that's one of them JEs, bruh.
You're just going off of what you see. So, yeah, if you get married off of that, then you're going to run into some of the same situations that they're running to on this show. So you can't just go on your site. Go ahead, G.
And people get messed up with that, even with God. They know about him, but don't know him. And that's the same way we do with each other. We know about them, but people are afraid to lose people. Therefore, they're afraid to communicate what's loose in them. You know what I'm saying? They're afraid to communicate their, certain things, or they kind of overlook it, because I'd rather overlook his red flags. I'd rather overlook her red flags to at least have somebody there. At least their flags keep me warm. You see what I'm saying? At least these things are there. But you have to understand, marriage is real work, man. The divorce rate, those are real numbers. Like people don't want to be old school with it, like the old school relationships, and some of them should have probably divorced. I'm not sitting there saying that, because God said because of hardness of man's heart and people's heart, divorce was acceptable, but it wasn't like that from the beginning. But they stuck together, and I think people have to really understand, it's more than what I see. It's more than what I see, because you don't know what you really have until you're there. Because no eye have seen, no ear has heard what is in marriage. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And I think, like you said, BD, a lot of people are married and they just, I'll take it, I'll settle for that deal. I'll take this because they low in their own selves. They low self-esteem. So they'll settle for a low settlement.
Yeah.
And then you get the thing and you now you want to act like you're more valuable. It's too late. You have what you are. Go ahead, BD.
So here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're talking about finances, and that was a situation with them, he wasn't necessarily comfortable talking about all of the details of his financial situation and the jobs and things like that. Mm-hmm. When do you think is a good time? Because it is something that you do want to discuss prior to getting married, but at what point is it appropriate to kind of have those conversations about finances, about, is it okay to ask about, hey, what's your credit score? Hey, how much do you make? Like, when is it appropriate to get into those conversations, and should you broach those topics?
Yeah, man. I'm going to my book, Dating Prep, because I have those questions in my game. I'm gonna go to page 88 because that's where the money is. Honestly, bro, I think I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to get exhausted. I kind of know my points. But I think there's 3 phases that I have in this book, in this card game. There's 3 phases. I have the cloud phase, the cement phase, and the corporation phase. This card game has questions for each level, right? Right? So you have questions for each level. And finances, I believe, is one of those questions in the cloud phase. Cloud phase means y'all just met. Cement phase, relationship is getting real. You know what I'm saying? Corporation phase is engagement and beyond, even married, y'all building a corporation. The cloud phase is where you observe his money. You observe how they spend money. You observe. And the observation should let you know whether or not you should bounce or not, right? Cement phase, I believe, is when it starts getting real. That's when y'all have both agreed that we're going at least in the direction of a corporation. And I need to know what's the cap of your industry. And I think women and men have to really process that. If this is her passion, let's stick with the man. If this is his passion, and the cap of his earning is at $40,000 a year, and there's no way of promotion. He may create side hustle, don't get me wrong, but he loves welding or he loves being a mechanic, right? You can't marry him if that's clearly communicated. And he's like, this is the cap of my industry, but I love to do this. This is what I love to do. I'm good with my hands. I may have my own shop one day, but the first 5 or 6 years, it may just be me making this cap. She can't get upset if she agrees to that and then wants a greater level of life and knowing his cap. So when it comes to communication where it's like, this is my industry, this is what I love to do. Do you want to marry me or not? Because I can't predict my progression. I can't predict because owning my own shop may take some time. But when it comes to communicating finance, I think at the segment phase, you should communicate when all right, all that cute stuff is kind of cute now, but it ain't cute like it used to be cute. We're not infatuated anymore. This is serious business now. It's my time now. I'm invested emotionally. I'm invested in this mentally. And so we need to have conversations about how we're going to spend our money. Or not we say how we're going to spend our money because you're not even engaged yet, but you should be talking about, surface level questions of finance in regards to what's in your industry. How progressive are you with your finances and stuff like that? But credit score, you need to know that in the cement phase. And ask. I think because I'm like, if you wait till you engage to ask about a credit score, it's too late. So I don't think you should ask on the first date, but I think you should ask on the 50th. I think you should ask when it getting real and y'all really got tight and close, but not too close where you emotionally attached. But when you begin here we go. Anytime you begin to feel your emotions getting attached to a person, that's where you have the hard questions.
Right.
Before you get overly attached, you interested. Stay in the interested phase. I'm interested in you, but I kind of feel my emotions bubbling. Like, I feel it bubbling. So that's when you ask all those questions. Don't wait till you're emotionally involved. And some people wait till they're already intimate. You done already got intimate. Now you want to have these questions. You're clouded in your judgment.
Right.
When you start feeling that little rumble, you know what that rumble means. Your eyes start, I like him. Oh, I like her. That's when you ask those questions.
I almost feel like you should almost have tiers.
Yeah.
Of things that you're looking for in a potential spouse. And the first things that you're looking for is that, initial attraction. Are they attractive?
Yeah.
Do they have a relationship with God?
Yeah.
Do they exhibit the attributes of God, fruits of the Spirit, things like that, and once you hammer those down, that's probably about where they'll be where you're saying okay, I kind of like this person, I could see my feelings starting to bubble up. I might want to, pursue something with this person. And that's when, like J.E. said, you want to start asking those. All right, we're moving to the second tier.
Because BD,
we need to know.
Oh, go ahead, BD. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because we need to know, all that. The first tier things are great, but the first tier things alone are not going to sustain a marriage. Whether you want to believe it or not, you are going to have some of those secondary things like the finances. That's critical. It's not going to be, something that initially necessarily attracts you to them, but, them good looks is going to fade.
Yeah.
The relationship with God is great. And that can, you can have a marriage without, I guess, being rich, obviously, but at the end of the day, you're going to need to be able to put food on the table and a roof over your head. Right. So, he can have a relationship with God and pray all day, but if he ain't doing nothing, then faith without works is dead.
That's right.
And that marriage will be too. So, yeah, now you're looking at the second tier stuff. So now you want to ask those questions, and those are sometimes tough conversations to have, uncomfortable conversations to have, but you got to find out because a lot of times I think people stay in that first tier and they're like, well, I don't want to ask any more questions because, you know, I might disqualify them and then I got to start all over. But you got to have those tiers, man. You have that tier and then you move into the second tier and you're starting to find out about the financials. You're starting to look at his spending habits, you know. But yeah, I think that's a good time to ask. So
I got 3 tiers on top of the dome. BD just inspired me.
Okay.
There's the charisma tier. There's the character tier. Then there's the commitment tier.
Ooh.
You see?
Okay. Break it down.
Charisma. Oh man, anybody can thrive off charisma. Charisma is intoxicating. Charisma will have you confused.
Right.
Charisma is the excitement of it all. Wow, he loves God. That's charisma. Wow, he's nice to me. That's charisma. Oh, he's funny. That's charisma. Character is what you marry. If you marry... Go ahead, BD.
And there's a large pool of applicants in that first tier.
Yes.
There's a lot of suitors that you can find in that tier. All right, go ahead, J.E.
But that second tier is who you marry. That's the character you marry. Who do you want to be your character, your love interest in your movie? You know what I'm saying? That's the character. Finances is character.
Right.
Self-control is character.
Right.
Long suffering is character. You know what I'm saying? Patience, perspective. Those are character tiers. And you can't be afraid to have conversations about character.
Right.
Because you marry in character. You marry charisma, man, then you get committed after you observe the character. They check the charisma box. But anybody on the outside look like they following God. There's a bunch of people who look like they following God.
Right.
But character is when he's tried, when she's tried. What's the words that come out of their mouth when they're going through a trial? Like, are they cussing people out? Are they mistreated? Like, that's character. When they get into realities of life, how do they respond? Don't be committed before you check off the boxes in character. And maybe we'll do a video to kind of, and maybe that's a good topic. Maybe that's part of our book that we write together. I don't know, like what is in the charisma category, what's in the character category. Maybe we'll do a video on that, because I know a lot of y'all right now is like, but Josh, I'm in a relationship right now. BD, I'm in a relationship. What is in the character? I mean, common sense, but common sense ain't common no more.
Right.
Maybe we'll do another video about, that, but it's charisma, character, then commitment. And that's what this game is. Like, even with this book here, there's questions that you write your answers down and you write their answers down, right? Like, I turned to page 96. It says, what culture will we like to have in our home and abroad? These are cement questions or corporation questions. What will we want our marriage to be known for? Legacy, legacy, legacy. What do you guys want to be known for? What do you want to be the first thought people have when they see your relationship? Questions down here for both of y'all to go through. What do you want your marriage to be known for? That's before you even get married. Another list below, the character traits you would like in your home, and beside each one, write yes if you match it and no if you don't. So you write your character traits, you write his character traits. And so it's a good book to kind of go through and help you ask those tough questions that they can't budge off of. Like, their facial expression, their body languages tell the answer before it comes out of their mouth.
And that's that third tier where you talked about the commitment tier. Yeah. That's like, to me, that's like legacy questions. Like,
that's right.
Your purpose.
Corporation.
What is your purpose?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do our purposes kind of intertwine? Can we build our, mesh our purposes together to build something? That's right. To build a legacy for this family. That's the third tier. Like, you don't work through the first two tiers. So this is somebody, y'all are really serious. That's right. And y'all are looking at, like we talked about last week, legacy, generations to come. What are we trying to establish, that the world will know us for, that will remember us for, that will point to God and his greatness and his goodness. How can we reflect that? So that's that third tier. Mm-hmm. The second tier, like Josh said, the character question is, what are your habits, your disciplines, your money, your finances, things like that. And then in that first tier, like we said, the surface level tier, the appearance and, initial connection and things like that. So yeah, I think that second tier is when you would have those conversations about finance. And I think that's like, some people are uncomfortable asking those questions. How much do you make? What's your credit score and things like that.
Let me tell you them. Let me tell them something, BD. You just stuck something in me, man. Let me tell you this. When you're comfortable with yourself, you don't mind having uncomfortable talks. When you uncomfortable with yourself, you don't know who you are, you don't want to do that because you need them to complete you. You're insecure, so I need them to kind of secure me, and I don't care what comes with this. But when you're comfortable with yourself and you love yourself, we got to talk. We got to have these questions because I care about me. That's all I wanted to say, because that right there, that thing leaped in my womb, bro. And I was like, well, we don't have wombs. It leaped in my belly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, belly. And then, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, but yeah, man, you got to be comfortable with yourself first so that you are okay with having uncomfortable. It won't even be uncomfortable with you. It won't even be uncomfortable to you. It may be like uneasy, but you'll be like, we got to have this talk.
Right. Okay. That's enough of the reality TV Chronicles, because we could probably end up having a whole episode about that.
Yeah.
But we'll probably expound on that in another future episode. Mm-hmm. But we're going to go ahead and get into the main topic of the day. And we've got a good one here. I know we've gotten a lot of questions in like our live chats. I know, Josh, you get a lot of questions about people wanting to know, it'll be various situations like, okay, he's ghosting me. Should I be taking him serious? He's doing this, should I be taking him seriously? He's still talking to his baby mom. Should I take him seriously? And so I think we're gonna do an episode today and kind of expound on, how you can know that a man is serious about you, that he's not playing around, he's not playing games, because that happens a lot. There's a lot of men out here that are still boys. They're not men, and they're just playing games. They're just trying to get something from you, something out of you, and then they're going to go on, their merry way. And sometimes it can be hard to know that and discern, is this guy really serious about me? So today we're going to talk about 4 signs that he is serious about you. He's not playing games. He's genuine in his intentions, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get into the first sign, and that is he listens, right? He listens. And you can tell that he's listening to you because he remembers and he notices the details of whatever y'all talk about. Whatever, experiences y'all have had, conversations y'all have had, he remembers the little things, right? If you get your hair done, he notices that you got your hair done. If y'all had a conversation 2 weeks ago about something that was important to you, a conversation that you had with your moms that, really impacted you, like he remembers those things. He notices the little details, the little things that you like, If y'all have been talking for 4 or 5 months and y'all have gone to a restaurant a couple of different times and you order the same thing, but in that special way that only you get it, and he goes and picks it up for you one day on his way back from the gym and brings it by your house, and he knows the order to a T, he notices those little details, then he's serious about you. He's paying attention to you. He's listening to you. He's observing you. If he's not doing those things, he's not serious about you. If a man is serious about you, he's listening. If he's not serious, it's going in one ear and out the other. The only thing he's hearing from you is what he wants to hear, which is, how can I get what I want out of this relationship? If you're talking about that, he's hearing you. Anything else, he's not really listening. He's focused on something else. All right. So that's a good sign to know that he's serious about you. He's listening. He's paying attention. He notices the small details, the minute details that you wouldn't think are that important, but they are. Because if a guy's not paying attention to those things, trust me, he's not really that interested. Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief and what BD is alluding to, men always pay attention. It's just certain buzzwords they pay attention to. Right. Men are always paying attention. It just depends on what he wants out of you. So if you giving buzzwords that lines up to what his interests are, he's listening. He's listening. Absolutely. He's listening for cues to get what he wants. You see what I'm saying? He's listening for cues. We're talking about a non-genuine man. Right. But a genuine man, he hears the detail. Your details about what you like are his buzzwords. That's because he's looking for something to prove to you that I want to grow this.
Right.
Like if a man wants to grow the relationship, he knows growth is in the details. He knows that growth is in the details. And if I gotta listen because I want to keep this thing going. You know what I'm saying? But if he's self-seeking and only want to satisfy his own interests, he's gonna listen to buzzwords of insecurities. Oh, that's a buzzword of insecurity. Maybe I can come at this angle to get her in this position to get this angle. And maybe he'll listen for those cues. But a guy who's genuine into you, he's listening to buzzwords. Oh, okay, on Tuesdays, blah, blah, desserts. Oh, she likes this. Oh, her color's this. So the 6th month that I give her a gift, I'm gonna do it this way. He's listed the details, buzzwords. You know what I'm saying? Okay, this is what she likes. This is what she's into. And this is what I'm invested in. I'm distracted by what she's invested in to even think about what most men want out of a woman. You see what I'm saying? That's when you know he's genuine. When he hears detailed buzzwords that's all about serving you, getting to know you, and setting y'all up to grow. Because like I said before, growth is in the details. He is consumed and concerned about what matters to you most. And sometimes you may get lost in it because it depends on the woman. But at the same time, his goal is genuinely invested in caring, protecting, serving, honoring, and establishing, revealing his character. See, these guys, they don't get so caught up in charisma. Non-genuine guys, that's all they stay. They stay in charisma. Genuine guys, they don't care about the hype. Their character is their charisma. Right. Their character is who they are. And so those are my points for that, man. He remembers, he listens, he's invested, he's intrigued, he's thinking 3 moves ahead. He's implementing what you say. And give him grace if you know that maybe an area of you is difficult, you know, and he's still kind of coming along. But details are not even in what you say. He see the details before you see it. You know he's genuine when he can predict you. Based upon your patterns, okay, she typically, I know, bam. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes I don't want ladies to be like, well, he didn't remember this. And then you overlook his true investment in your actions. Because some people are like, oh, he forgot this. Or it's like he didn't forget. Maybe he was consumed in what was needed now. And you didn't see that need because you know, as a genuine guy, when you barely recognize certain things, he's so good at what he does, you don't even think about safety and protection. So your focus is, oh, he forgot that I like 3 roses instead of 2. He got your roses, but you don't overlook the details of, wow, this guy's really, really invested. Because a genuine guy's going to make sure you in your car at the right time. He's going to make sure you put that, he's going to do a lot of gentleman things, you know. And so that's all I got for that.
Yeah, don't don't overstate it, you know, and just, oh, anytime he forgets anything, like, you know what I mean? Oh, he's not serious about me because he forgot that. Like, don't do that. But you just, like, is he making the effort?
That's right.
You know, does he just remember nothing that we ever talk about? If he just never remembers any conversations that we had, dude, we just talked about this 2 weeks ago, like, and he never remembers anything. That's kind of more of a clear-cut sign. All right, he's not that serious. Like, but don't look for on the inverse. Don't look for a guy to remember every single thing, every single detail about you. Nobody's perfect.
We're gonna forget.
Nobody's perfect.
Let's really tell them the truth. Let's tell them the truth. We're gonna forget.
For sure.
We're gonna forget certain things because y'all don't have to. A lot of times, y'all don't have to think about protection and providing. When our minds are consumed with that stuff, we begin to forget certain things. And I don't want to set women up to be like, well, the good guys told me, I'm just going to test him and see if he... Listen, man, the fact that he's given effort and the fact that he's efficient is all you need to know.
Yeah. Effort is the biggest thing that you're looking for. Not perfection. You're looking for effort. So if he's showing no effort to remember anything, and he's showing no effort, then that's where you have a problem. If you see effort, but he might forget one thing here, or he didn't remember a conversation from, 2 months ago, like, but you see effort, like he remembers a lot of the conversations that y'all have. It's not like I'm starting from day one every time I talk to him, because that's a sign that he's having a lot of conversations with a lot of different women and he can't keep all the stories and everything together.
And yeah. And also, ladies, he's only going to remember what you said. He can't read in between the lines.
Now that's a whole nother
That's a whole nother segment. Because a lot of ladies, what he should be able to notice. No, women notice women in those areas. Men, we're wired completely different. We only remember what is spoken. we can't remember or even come to knowledge of what we never heard. So don't give clues, silent clues, and think we're going to pick up on them. No. I'm over here by color pink all the time. You should know that's my favorite color. No. You just stand over there by pink stuff all the time. That don't correlate to us that you like your favorite color is pink. If you tell us your favorite color is pink, then we're on it. So we don't want y'all to be thinking that, oh, you should remember everything, even when I don't speak or haven't spoken. That's unrealistic.
For sure. But what he should remember is, so you guys should have conversations about, you have love languages, right? Different people have different ways that they receive love. Mm-hmm. So if you've communicated those kinds of things to him and he's not paying attention to it and he's not making an effort towards those things, that's definitely a sign that he's not really that into you. He's not really paying attention to you. He's not taking you seriously.
Yeah.
So if y'all are having those conversations, if you've explicitly expressed, I really, it means a lot to me when you do this, or, I really enjoy this. Every now and again, you should see him making an effort to, show love to you in that way that you like, that you need to receive it. So those are the kind of things that you want to look for. Not perfection, but you're looking for effort in that area.
Progression over perfection.
There you go. All right. The number 2 sign that he is serious about you, his actions are consistent, right? There's a peace in his predictability. We had a couple of people in the live Q&A session that we had a few weeks ago talking about guys who were talking to them for a certain period of time, and then they ghosted them for a couple of months, and then they came back. A guy who is serious about you is not going to ghost you. Mm-mm. A guy who is serious about you is not going to disappear for 2-3 months and then come back and be like, hey, what's up? Like, that's a guy who does that is looking for what he wants out of the situation, out of the relationship, right? A guy, a man of God, a guy who is serious about you is intentional about everything that he does. He's intentional about his time. He's intentional about his intentions. He is going to be consistently pursuing you until, if it doesn't work out, then he goes a separate way. But he's going to be consistent. His actions are going to be consistent. You're going to know, what he's trying to accomplish. Right? He'll have those conversations with you, and it's not going to be like a back and forth to and fro. Like, that's a sign of a man who's not stable. That's a sign of a man who doesn't have a solid foundation and doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't know where he's going, and he definitely doesn't know how to lead you. So that's definitely a sign that a sign that a guy is serious about you is his actions are consistent. His behaviors are consistent. The words that he's speaking about what he wants from the relationship, they're consistent. If it's not consistent, if he's all over the place, one day he's all into you, the next day you can't hear him, you can't find him, you don't hear anything from him. If one day he's acting like he's serious about the relationship, the next week he's, seems like he's pretty disinterested and he's got a whole lot of other things going on. Like, that's kind of a sign that he might not be that serious. He probably has other situations, other things going on, and he's not really all that serious about you.
Listen, ladies, a man is supposed to be simple. If he's more complicated than you, then you got to leave him.
Yeah.
A man, like we said, there's peace in his predictability. Your man should be predictable. In the Jordan documentary, they said they knew something was wrong with their dad when he didn't make phone calls. He was so predictable that people can predict something was wrong. They can predict problem. because he's so predictable. Oh, he will never go days without calling us. Oh, he's so predictable. Now we're uneasy when there's an issue. And anytime you uneasy, it's because that man is not predictable. That man should be consistent. A simple man literally has 5 go-to meals, 5 go-to shows, 3 go-to habits. You see what I'm saying? If he's predictable, you know what he does when he comes home from work. He comes home the same time, and you know if he comes home 30 minutes late, he got him some little snack. And we ain't talking about no side piece. He went and got him a little cake on Friday. Mm-hmm. He's predictable. If he's not predictable, then you got to get out of that. Because a guy who's genuine, he doesn't mind. He is simple. That means he's comfortable with you. He's comfortable enough to say, this is who I am. This is what I do. He is a simple man. If he's, oh, I do this and I do that, and he's all over the place, man, then get out of that place.
Right.
Because you're not going to be at peace. Because you don't know when he's going to come home. He don't call you for days. You sitting by your phone for days and you ain't heard from him. And then you get that big head text at 11:30 p.m. Anytime a man texts you for the first time in a long time at nighttime.
Come on.
That man don't want you. And don't get caught up in a good morning text, because some men use that good morning text to set them to have a good night. You know?
Right.
And so you just have to understand that he has to be predictable, and his actions will let you know who he is. If he always alludes to certain things, if he always just disappears, man, no ghosts have ever been friendly.
Except Casper.
And he was still a ghost. Why do you mess up my deep moments? Because I can only come back with something deep. And then when I came back with something deep, that wasn't even deep.
Hey, you shut down my 40 years in the wilderness story twice.
Yeah, you're right.
Week,
you got me with the Casper. I'm like, there ain't no friendly ghost. What about Casper? He's still a ghost.
It's literally Casper the friendly ghost. But no, like that's the biggest thing to take away from this, man. Do not let a dude come in and out of your life as he pleases. You know, like if he's talking to you and then he goes ghost. And then he tries to come back, like, no, this ain't, I don't know what no, it just don't work like that.
Just say no. No.
I'm trying to think of something where you could just come and go as you please.
A revolving door.
This ain't no revolving door. Like, this ain't no hotel, motel inn. Like, no, you don't just come and go as you please into my life. Like, no. That means that he doesn't respect your feelings, your life, your habits, your patterns, whatever you have going on. He doesn't respect that.
No.
You cannot let a man come in and out of your life as he pleases and just disappear for 2 weeks at a time and then come back like J.E. said with the hey big head text. Like, no. Don't sell yourself short in that way. I'm sorry. But that's exactly what that is. Don't accept that. Don't stand for that.
Yeah, man. What's Motel 6? We leave the light on for you? Don't do that.
No, don't leave the light on.
Don't leave the light on, man. You know, and you got to look yourself in the mirror, young lady. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, do I love me? Do I love who I am? Because I tell you, there's 2 types of women out there. Women who have no boundaries. The guy could just hop the little small fence you got or just walk right through in your yard because there's no fence. And there's women that's like, I got guards up here. Nah. Maybe we'll do a video. I did a video on boundaries. Maybe we'll do another one on here, the Good Guys podcast. But women, you gotta have boundaries, and your boundaries are a direct reflection to what you're bound to. And if you're bound to God, you have certain standards. and if a man keeps coming in and out of your life, that's a reflection of you. That's a reflection of you. So you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of allowing these tired men come in and out of my life. I got to make some changes. And maybe we'll go into detail on how you build your self-esteem as a woman. How do we build our self-esteem to where these symptomatic issues disappear over time?
Absolutely. All right. So we'll go ahead and move on to the third sign that he is serious about you. And that is that you feel safe and you feel okay to be yourself around him. He welcomes who you are. And that is a clear-cut sign that a guy is serious about you. If you feel like you can't, if you can't be your true self around him, if you feel like you have to, be you have an idea of what you think he's looking for or what he wants, and you feel like you have to conform yourself to that, then he's not serious about you. He has an ideal of what he wants, and it's your responsibility to fit that ideal. And if, as long as you do that, he's okay. He'll keep you around. But as soon as you don't, as soon as you, stray from that, as soon as you are your natural self, your true self around him, and you feel like he's going to leave you if you do that, and he's not serious about you. He's serious about the ideal that he has, the picture that the person he wants you to be. And if you're not that, then he's on to the next one. So let him go.
Yeah.
He's not that serious about you, and it's not worth it. If you can't be yourself, if you can't, fulfill your purpose and your calling by being with him, then that's not what you want anyway. You should be able to be yourself. You should be able, now I'm not saying go wear a bonnet on the second date, okay? I'm not saying but what I am saying is, if he can't accept you for who you are, a man who's serious about you, he loves all of you. Because ain't none of us perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
Okay? You not perfect. I'm not perfect. J.E. not perfect. So we're all going to have our imperfections. A man that's serious about you, he knows you're good. He knows your positive qualities. He knows the things that you're gifted at. But he's seen some of the imperfections. He's seen some of the struggles that you have, the situations, the areas that you have to grow. But a man who's serious about you loves all of that. All of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, my wife ain't perfect. She has her imperfections. But I love all of it. Because it makes her who she is. That's who she is. And I love it. Does it sometimes get on my nerves? Sure. Yeah. But that's what love is. Love is unconditional.
Yeah.
Christ loves us despite our imperfections. We're not perfect. We mess up all the time, but he still loves all of that because he created us to be the unique creatures that we are. So a guy who's serious about you understands that you are a unique, imperfect, flawed individual, and he loves all of it, regardless. He loves the essence of who you are. So if that's not where he's at, you don't feel like you can be yourself, you feel like you have to put on a front or a facade in order to not have him run away and leave, then let him go. Let him run. Because he's not that serious about you. He's serious about the ideal that he has and the box that he wants you to fit in. So if you don't fit in that box, then you just need to go ahead and keep it moving.
Yeah, a genuine guy is not trying to change you to match his ideal mold of you. That's a clear sign that the guy's not really interested, because he's only interested in the idea of what he wants you to be. And you'll end up being a trophy wife. And you heard me say this in other videos. You'll be a statue of yourself. You will be a trophy. You'll just be exactly a mold that he molded you into. And you have to match that image all the time. See what I'm saying? And so if you want to be a trophy wife, then do what you got to do. And you'll match his image. And a lot of women don't mind that because they don't even know whose image they made from. And so when you don't know the image that you made from, you'll allow yourself to be molded and confused into an image that's contrary to who you were created to be. See, a man who's genuine, he don't need pieces. And what I mean by that, like BD said, he's invested in all of you, even your imperfections. Because when a guy only wants your perfections, he'll find another woman to match where you imperfected at. You see what I'm saying? So then you have the 80-20 situation. You give him 80, but he's like, I don't really want all of you. So I'll deal with you on these time frames. But I'm going to have this girl who give me the 20% so he can have his full. You see what I'm saying? He's disappointed because you didn't come with batteries. That's how it is. Like a kid. A kid be like, I don't want to play on it. It didn't come with batteries. No. So we're going to roll this thing around until the batteries come. But what I'm saying is you got to have a man who says, you know what? We're running this race together and I have grace for you. I said this in a previous video. I don't know if I said it on the Good Guys podcast, but I talked about how the person who God has for you has grace for you. Grace means I'm able to stomach, endure, and be long-suffering during the imperfections. A person who doesn't have the bandwidth for you, don't have the grace for you, the race won't be ran. It won't be ran. It won't be ran effectively. And so what I'm saying is, a genuine guy says, "Bring it." So now, a genuine man ain't gonna accept no trash. Like a genuine man should inspire change, not try to make you change into his ideal person.
There you go.
So a man ain't, now if you sitting there and a genuine man, a good man ain't gonna stay long. If you got bad traits and you're just making excuses for them and you're just like, well, this is me. We ain't talking about your dirty you.
Right.
We talking about who you are with the idea, with the perspective of growth. If you willing to grow and mature, a genuine man's like, let's take on that because we're going to grow together.
Right.
But if you like, no, I'm grounded in these bad traits, I'm grounded in this, he ain't going to stay long. And don't get mad when he leave because you didn't want to leave those bad traits.
That's true. It does work on it. It works both ways. Now, if you like J.E. said, if you got some legitimately bad traits, bad habits, things that you really need to clean up, and you've got a genuinely good guy, he may or may not, be willing to put up with those traits. And hey, you can't fault him if he decides, okay, I see you for who you are. You know what I mean? And that's just not the direction I want to go. I want to go in a different direction. A good, genuine guy will not play games with you and, what's the word? String you along.
There you go.
Looking for the word.
Mm-hmm.
String you along. He'll be very forthcoming with you and be like, hey, I don't think this is for me. And he'll go ahead and cut ties and keep it moving. And that's cool. But yeah, if you've got a guy and he's a really good guy and he has certain habits and morals and a certain level of ambition, and you're not matching up with that right now, if that makes you feel uncomfortable, you have two choices. You can either, you can level up. You can level up and get to where he's at, or you can say, hey, I'm comfortable with who I am. This is where I want to stay. And you keep it moving. So, in that situation, it could be a situation where it is a good guy and it does make you feel uncomfortable, but you can decide, hey, like maybe maybe it's making me uncomfortable because I have some things that I need to work on, that I need to improve. So in that case, if that makes you uncomfortable and you decide to embrace that and level up, then that can be a good thing. But you shouldn't feel like you have to do that. Like, that's your choice. If you don't want to, you can keep it moving. You can find somebody who's more, on your same page.
And also want to make sure I make this clear. Good guys don't want to play games either, or be played in your games. And what I mean by that is, I don't want to give y'all the mentality, oh, a good guy's supposed to just be so into me and just take me as I am. No, we talking about a good guy, a genuine guy. Like a good guy is a guy who's good to himself.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be taken advantage of by you. Some ladies will think, well, this is who I am. And a real genuine guy, a good guy, is a guy who wants to grow, wants to progress. And if you're just like, I'm staying at this level, and that's okay. And what I want to make sure I make clear, we're talking about bad habits. We're not talking about your good habits. Like, he wants to travel around the world and whatever. And you just like, I'm just a local girl. That's fine. We're not talking about growing up to his level. Well, is you saying I gotta travel? No, we're talking about character.
Right.
We're not talking about class. You see what I'm saying? So if you're just a city girl and you're just like a chill girl and he's like, no, we gotta take over the world, and you're like, well, I'm not built for that, then let that good guy and you as the good girl, y'all go y'all separate ways.
Neither one of y'all are wrong.
Neither one of y'all are wrong, because y'all will find someone that's able, who has the grace and the bandwidth for that. We're talking about strictly character. You having character flaws, and y'all had conversation about it, and you're just like, I'm just going to be a messy woman. I'm just not going to do this. This is who I am. I'm going to talk crazy. I do this in public. You know what I'm saying? I talk crazy to people. A genuine guy ain't going to rock with that.
No.
Because he got a good name. You represent his name. And if you over there, you don't got no self-control over your emotions and your mouth and all that kind of stuff, then he's out. Because he's like, look, you cute, but not cute enough. Not just for my salvation, but for my good name.
Exactly.
So we just want to make sure we put that out there, because good guy has had a bad connotation to it. genuine guy has sometimes have a manipulative kind of angle approach at it, where people be like, oh, I want a guy that I can manipulate and who would just give me flowers and do everything that I want them to do. Rude awakening, if you really want a genuine God-fearing man, he ain't gonna play those games.
For sure. All right. We'll go ahead and move on to the last sign that he is serious about you. And that is that he doesn't push for intimacy, and we're talking about like physical intimacy, or for you to compromise your standards. He is patient, and that is a clear-cut sign. If he's serious about you, and he's the type of guy that you should be looking for, which is a good guy, he's not going to be wanting you. He doesn't want you to be uncomfortable at any point, right? Especially when it comes to like physical intimacy. He doesn't want you to feel like you're obligated to do anything before you're ready to do it. A good guy, like we talk about all the time, is concerned with your safety, with your physical security, with your emotional security. So he doesn't want to put you in a position where you feel like you're pressured to do something. A good guy is waiting until marriage, first and foremost. But even when within the context of that, there could be situations where, you might still not be, quite ready. And this was, we were watching Married at First Sight. I talked about it earlier in the podcast, but they had just got married, and she wasn't ready to be intimate. And he was trying to pressure her into doing it because, hey, we're married. Like, this is what we're supposed to do. A good guy, regardless. Look. He's not gonna, you know what I mean? Even if y'all, now look, don't be tripping now. Now, if you're in a regular marriage situation, y'all been dating for a long time, this man has been patient and done the right thing. Don't be getting married and withholding from him now, because the Bible talks about that too. But a good guy is going to want you to feel comfortable with whatever level of physical intimacy, whether that's hugs, whether that's sitting on his lap, whatever the case may be. He's going to kind of move more so at your pace and vibe, and read off of your vibe and what you're giving off. He's not going to be pushing you to go to first base or second base or third base or whatever the case may be. He's going to be patient, right? So his focus is going to be on getting to know you. His focus is going to be on moving through those tiers of getting to know you, because that's really what's most important. The physical aspect of it, that's why the Bible says to save that for marriage, because that's the last frontier. Like, that's the last thing you need to be worried about. That'll come once you address the first 3 tiers. Once you get those things, you got somebody who you are physically attracted to. You got somebody who does have character, and y'all's morals and values line up with each other. And you guys are both focused on, your purposes, you're aligned with each other, and you guys are focused on legacy. When you have all of those things, the physical will come. And a good guy understands that. So he's not rushing the physical part of it. There's a lot of relationships that are based off of just physical. Nothing else works. They don't get along. Their ideals, their ambitions, their morals are completely different, but it's covered up by the physical aspect of it. So, and a lot of relationships go wrong because of that. So a good guy understands that. He's not pushing for physical intimacy because he knows that that's not the most important thing. He's focused on getting to know you and working through those tiers. So that's a sign that he's into you. If all he cares about is the physical, if all he's concerned is about what he can get from you physically, he's not that serious about you, because he can get that from anybody. He can get that from anybody. You can get physical intimacy from anybody. Anybody that he's attracted to. We talked about that first tier. There's a large pool of applicants in that tier. So if that's where he's trying to stay with you, then he can find 50 other yous. It's when you get to those second and third tier that you start to weed out the competition, and that he gets to know the true you, and he realizes, them other ones, they cool, they got the physical, but they don't got this though. They don't got the purpose that lines up with what I'm trying to do. They don't got the same morals and values that I have. They don't have the same goals and ambitions that I have. This one right here, she does. That's the one I want. I'm serious about this one. So that is a clear-cut sign that he's serious about you. If he's not pushing for intimacy, he is patient.
Yeah, man. Listen, like I always say, man, you measure a man's commitment towards you by his commitment towards God. And he understands that that is reserved. That is supposed to be the last gift given on your wedding day. That's God's gift to the marriage. You see what I'm saying? That should be the last gift that you receive is that. And a lot of people don't understand how much that clouds your judgment. All of a sudden now, because the intimacy is so intimate and so intriguing or whatnot, now your intuition is clouded. And now your body's confused, your mind's all over the place, and now you're entering a level of marital level that's supposed to be reserved for marriage in a phase that's not conducive in. And so you have to be understanding that a guy who's pressuring for that is a person who doesn't have self-control over himself. This head is supposed to be the one that's always working, right? The blood flow should be coming up here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where the details are. That's where the predictability, that's where the proactiveness comes from. That's where the commitment to God is. When the other stuff starts thinking, that area don't care nothing about you. That they don't care about your favorite color. It don't care about what you like. It don't care about how you feeling. That part of, if that one runs rampant, it don't care about you. And so if a man runs off of that, he don't care about you. And so you have to understand is that a man has to be so familiar with himself that he knows how to implement self-control. He knows what environments not to even put y'all in. And even if you find yourself slipping, he runs out the door and grabs his coat. That's just metaphorically speaking. But there's just certain situations he avoids because there's so many other places to address. Man, we could talk about purpose. We could talk about goals. We could talk about ambitions. There's so much to talk about to distract you from that. And if a man is not goal-driven, purpose-driven, you-driven, us-driven, if that's all he thinks about, then that's all he's about. But a man who is genuine was like, oh man, what are we going to do when we, when y'all engagement phase, when we have a little juju? When we have little Susie Pop comes, what we going, man, we thinking about family tree. We talking about legacy. That stuff distracts you from the other stuff, or it should. And that's where you have to really process and say, you know what? Am I, or is he man enough to manage that? Is he man enough to manage that? If he's not man enough to manage, boys love using toys. A man is able to manage. A man gonna want. We ain't gonna lie to you. Let's get into the mind of a genuine man. Okay, The mind of a genuine man. Come on, man. You over there looking good, man.
Yeah.
You over there looking scrumptious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's thought about it, but he ain't gonna walk about it,
right?
Because he honors God. A man who doesn't honor you as God's daughter, man, don't trust that man, because the Bible says the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. He's not going to walk you down the paths of wisdom if you don't fear God and fear who you represent.
There you go.
In other words, reverence. Like BD said, man, they ain't going to push for the intimacy, man. You looking good now, but he's waiting till marriage.
Yeah, a good guy, a man of God, a guy who's genuine, a guy who's serious about you understands that physical intimacy it's dessert, right? I think a lot of people, what do your parents tell you when you're a kid? You're not going to eat dessert first because then you don't have appetite for the things that you need, the sustenance that you need. The baked chicken, the broccoli, the brown rice. You don't have an appetite for that anymore because you filled up on desserts, which aren't helping you in the long run. That's what physical intimacy is. Physical intimacy is what comes after you've had the nourishing meal that you needed, which is getting to know that person, which is working through those tears, finding out about that person, talking about legacy, talking about purpose, making sure that they have a solid foundation in their relationship with God. That's the meal. And then once you have established all of that, God's like, hey, have some dessert. You earned it. And it's wonderful. It's amazing, but it's not the main entree. It's not what you eat first. And a lot of people have that backwards in society today. We eat the dessert first. and we never get to the main entree. So we fill up on dessert, and then years later, just like in, you know, with your body, you eat dessert all the time, your body's going to look like it. You're going to be overweight. You're going to have health problems, right? Even in a relationship, if you eat the dessert first, you get to go straight to physical intimacy. Years later, the marriage is going to look like it. You got problems. You're looking at divorce. You arguing all the time over issues that you could have worked out in the first place if you had partaken of those conversations, if you had focused on those things instead of the physical intimacy. So a good guy understands that. And that's why he's not pushing for that intimacy. If he's serious about you. Now, if he's not serious about you, yeah, he wants that intimacy because he doesn't care about, you know, the long-term prospects. He doesn't care about, you know, how the relationship's going to look 5 years down the road because he's not planning on knowing you 5 years down the road.
You know a man by how far he thinks. You measure a person by how far they think. And you can tell how far they think in their conversations. If all they're thinking about is the next weekend, if that's as far as they think about is the next weekend, what they got, all they talk about is their plans for the next weekend.
Right.
Leave that person alone. We talk, this is just gems. This is for men and women. This is just gems. But if they're thinking about the fifth weekend, 10 years down the road, that person understands process. Yep. People only think about the next weekend. All they think about is prize. The person who thinks about 10 years down the road understands process. And that's what you need in a man. A man who understands process, procedures. He understands why that is reserved for marriage. He completely understands because understanding keeps your hand off the stove.
Right.
It keeps your hand out of it. I understand why I shouldn't do that. That makes sense. That's why I appreciate about my mom. My mom made it very clear to me why you should wait till marriage for that. Broke it down to me. And when my mind was like, that makes sense. That makes sense.
A lot of parents don't do that. A lot of parents are just like, no,
don't do it.
Sex.
No,
it's evil. It's of the devil. Nah. Look, man, when your kids get to a certain age, you got to break down to them, make it make sense to them.
Makes sense. So they can be like, you know what? When they in that situation, they'll be like, you know what? The pros and cons don't add up here. And right. And I see in your eyes you don't care about me. You see what I'm saying? You'll be able to see things because it has been made sense to you.
Right.
Now you understand. And so when a man doesn't understand process, men, real genuine men care about the process more than the prize. The process of protecting, the process of providing, the process. If a man always cares about the prize, then you nothing but a wrapping paper that after he done ate what's inside the paper, he throw the paper away. That's all you are to him. Nothing but something for the moment. A genuine man loves the process more than the prize because the process makes the prize that even more enjoyable. And you don't mind repeating the process again.
Nope.
I think that's all I got, BD.
All right. Well, that's all we've got on 4 signs that he is serious about you. Hop in the comments. Let us know what you guys got from this particular topic and what spoke out to you. All right. Let us know. Other than that, we're going to keep it moving on to the final segment of the day, which is this or that. This or that. So, I don't know about you guys there in North Carolina, but I know here in Texas, a lot of establishments are starting to open back up. A lot of the restaurants are opening their dining halls to patrons. And
you're a classy man, BD. You're a classy gentleman. you're a classy man.
I try. So this week's this or that is with the reopening of, establishments with the option of eating in. Which one would you choose? Because a lot of us have, gotten accustomed to getting our stuff to go, eating at the crib. Do you prefer, if you had the choice, if you could only do one for the rest of your life, would you choose being able to eat in an establishment? Or would you choose to always be relegated to eating your food at the crib? This or that? For here or to go? J.E.
Comfort is one of those things that only benefits you for a moment. So as a man, I can easily say that for the rest of my life, I don't mind eating at the crib, but I am married. Fortunately, I am married. And I'm only going to speak for me because I already know what the answer has to be. There is no way. There is no way for the rest of her life she's going to eat in the house. See, eating at home is for the man.
Right.
Eating out is for the woman.
It really is.
Eating at home is so much about eating at home as a man. I'm relaxed. Our ambiance is that big 65. Hanging on the wall.
That's right.
Couch comfortable. Cabinets full of condiments.
Everything I need.
Fridge. I don't have to pay for refills. I don't have to worry about whether or not your ice is clean, your cups are clean. I'm in what I want to wear. Yeah. If something drops, I picked a shirt for this moment. So if something drops, so I don't mind. This my eating at home shirt. But when we go out, man, it's too much stress, man. It's too much stress, man. I gotta look out for the exits. I know if someone comes in this house, what's gonna happen to them? Leaking. They leaking all over the front door. But I'm anxious now. I'm in protecting mode. I'm in is she okay mode. Now I gotta have conversations on an empty stomach. Come on, man. Because when y'all out and about, y'all want to talk before the food comes, and I'm irritable because I'm hungry. Because I want to make this justifiable for the money that I gotta pay for this. So now I didn't eat all day because I'm gonna eat all $34.76 of this. And then bruh, I ain't have to give a tip in a long time. Bruh, man, now we got to pay tips again. The tip that I was going to pay her got me extra food. That's how I think about it.
That's my lunch for tomorrow.
That's my lunch for tomorrow. That tip. Hey, man, what kind of cakes y'all got? Put that in the bag, too. Put the extra $5, yeah. And drive off. But when you got to sit there, you got to deal with their fake kindness towards you, and you got to tip in accordance. So for me, man, it sucks, man. If it was left up to me, for the single guys, well, not even going to go there. If you're a single man.
Well,
y'all single guys like to go out because that's how you meet somebody. Man.
Yeah.
Bro,
you got to take them on dates.
You still got to take them on dates. But honestly, bro, deep down in the pit of my soul, I would choose to eat at home. Now, there's cons to eating at home. Because by the time, you talking about the food's delivered. Oh, well, if you pick up the food and bring it home, you have it depends on how close you are from the restaurant. Because certain foods don't last. Their shelf life is like the Waffle House waffle. It's only as good. It's only good. It's only good. Fries are only good when they're fresh. Waffles are only good when they're fresh. So you got to think about that.
That's a whole nother dimension you just brought into the argument here, because there are some food options that you can't bring them back to the crib because by the time you do, they're not good. So what are those options? How important are those to you when it comes to eating out? Because fries, if you're talking about fries, that's pretty much out of the equation if you choose the eat at home option.
It's done. About time.
Done.
But this is what I do, BD. I eat the fries on the way home. Oh yeah, man.
But do you really get to enjoy them?
It depends on my level of hunger. And that's another dimension to it. Because if I'm really hungry, eating out is like eating in the parking lot of the establishment. That's what I've done sometimes. I'm like, man, I don't really want to be in this dirty Waffle House, man. So I get my stuff to go and I eat in the car. And that's what I do with my waffles. Hey, man, I pop the hood. Can I get your syrup? I don't do that packet syrup, bro. Give me that. Give me that syrup right there.
I need the hot.
I need the hot syrup. Thank you. I appreciate you. And they see me walk to my car and I'm there for 25 minutes. The guy didn't leave. He didn't leave. But only JE, man. I'm all about comfort. So, and I don't even like people delivering food to me. I still haven't gotten to that place of life yet. I don't trust people, man. A random person bringing me my food. You had 20 minutes with my food?
Yeah, I haven't really gotten into that.
Nah,
it's just too many hands being.
No, listen, I'm not used to that kind of a convenience. I came from an era where we were inconvenienced. 20 years, 18, 19, 20, 22 years of our life, we still had old school stuff. We didn't have technology like y'all kids have it now.
And then you gotta pay, because I was like, one day, I mean, I'm always like, all right, I'm gonna go get the food. But my wife was just like, babe, can we just have somebody bring it to us? I don't feel like going to just pick it up. I get the Grubhub app, and I'm like, it's gonna be an extra $7 for you to bring it to me?
Nah.
I could get a whole nother combo for that.
PD, see, they don't think like we think. A man thinks about, so you mean to tell me I'm paying you versus me paying myself with an extra meal? Do you know what $7 can get you?
Not as much these days due to inflation, but still,
it can go towards. it can be applied towards to another meal. And then in my mind, I'm thinking $7 that was going to you was applied to the $10, $12 thing. So I'll really only spent $6. Because if I had the option of just using you, I would have lost $7.
There you go.
But if I can apply that $7 to something, another appetizer or another full meal, man, with Chinese food, that's tomorrow's meal.
Right.
And Chinese food ages well.
Yes, it does.
That's Italian. I mean, well, lasagna, like stuff that's made compact with flavors. Oh, I might get Chinese today. Yep.
I'm getting Chinese today.
Yeah, I'm getting Chinese today.
The Chinese buffet just opened back up, and I'm going. I'm not going to eat in, though. I'm going to get it to go.
Are you going to pay by the pound?
Yeah, I always do that. Because if I sit in a Chinese buffet, it's going to be a bad day.
Yeah, man. That was the old me. Man, there was times I went to the Chinese buffet by myself, sat by myself, and enjoyed it.
Put in work.
Lady, I'm just sitting there. Give me a good table.
Give me the good table.
Oh,
get me the corner booth with that goes around like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need that. I need that all to myself.
I want to like a Don.
So
I want to be able to say, you know what? Because
back in the corner of the restaurant.
Yeah, like I own the place. Man, this is what I did at the buffet, man. Oh man, this is what I did at the was it the Japanese or the hibachi places, BD? While they're making my hibachi plate, I'm going into the buffet.
Oh. That's efficiency.
That's efficiency. Because that's good 6-7 minutes they making your hibachi. Right? So, but I always face him because I want him to know I'm holding you accountable. I see you. Okay? So I'm always on the side of the booth where I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? There's always method to my madness. No matter what. So I'm getting because the one thing about the hibachi, they don't got the sweet, they don't got the sesame seed chicken. Sesame seed chicken, bro.
Oh, I'm getting it. I'm going in today,
bro. Are you it depends on what mood I am. Are you more of a fried rice guy or a lo mein and sesame chicken? It depends on the day.
It kind of depends on the day, but I normally get both. I'm gonna be honest.
I get half and half.
I do half and half.
But sometimes you need all fried rice, BD. All fried rice, because it's hard to mix the sesame seed chicken with the lo mein. It's more work that way. See, with rice, you can kind of delegate and separate your plate. The rice to meat ratio, you able to predict that last bite. Lo mein, if you wrap the lo mein too much, you ain't gonna have much lo mein. You got 3, 4, 5 good sized sesame chickens left over and no lo mein.
That's a thorough breakdown there. I never thought of it like that, J.E.
But with rice, you can kind of say that's too much rice for this one. I know how much rice to say for that. Because that rice and last sesame, could we say that big jumbo sesame seed chicken for the last?
Got to.
I went down a rabbit hole, a very important rabbit hole.
Well, we definitely did. Completely off the topic.
Yeah, man. I would rather eat at home. It depends, man. But honestly, eating out is cool. But I'd rather eat in the car. Let's really make it really plain. I'd rather eat in the car. Certain foods in the car. But if it can make it to the house, oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same place, man. Like, if it's just me,
yeah,
I'm trying to think in what scenario would I rather eat in a restaurant other than a buffet?
The buffet's the only place that I would only rather eat there.
Waffle House.
Waffle House, yeah. Yeah. It's only Waffle House and the Chinese buffet.
Chinese buffet.
Or Golden Corral. Or any buffet.
Right, yeah, any buffet. But yeah, other than that, I mean, like, for me, just for me now, if we're adding the context of the fact that I'm married, then I guess I have to select eating in because
ladies,
for whatever reason, ladies of the help us out. Help us out.
Be real, man. When it's your money, you ain't eating there. You know it. It's easy to eat somewhere when somebody else pays.
And you know what? Maybe that's it. I just don't understand. I mean, I hear you. You know, the ambiance. You know, you want to. I guess you want to get dressed up. You want to get out of the house. You know what? I see where they're coming from. It's just we're wired differently. Because for me, getting dressed. I mean, every now and again, yeah, I want to get dressed up. I mean, I like to look nice, but it's like you got to get dressed up. I got to wear some jeans that fit significantly less comfortable than sweatpants or shorts.
You got to wait for the table.
I got to drive there. I got to wait for the table. Like J.E. said, I'm a good guy, so I'm concerned with your physical security. So I have to be on alert at all times. We got to wait for the table. We got to wait for the waiter to come to the table. I got to smile and pretend that you're being nice to me for genuine purposes when really you're only being nice because you want me to give you a tip. And I got to wait for the food. I have to give you the tip, And
I got to drive back home full.
I got to drive back home.
Partially full, honestly.
And it's just like, I don't know. It's cool. Like, I like to make my wife happy, so I'll do it.
But BD.
But for me,
yeah.
Food never tastes better than when I am sitting on my couch with the 65-inch TV going, with the remote in my hands, the AC blowing just the way I like it. In the comfort of my own home.
Yes.
I have all the condiments. I have all the drinks, in the refrigerator. Whatever it is that I need, it's right there at my disposal. I don't have to call a waiter or find my waiter and wait for them to come around. If I want some more drink, I'll go get some more drink. It's just more comfortable. I don't know. And like I said, it's a male-female thing. I know. I get it.
No, it's
sit in the house always.
Let me tell you this. When it comes to eating out, it's not a male or female thing. It's about who's paying thing. That's what it really boils down to. I would do the same thing if someone's going to drive me there. If someone's going to pay for it, no matter what I want, pay for it, and drive me back home. It's never been a win-win for us.
But if you're married, I mean, you have a joint. You have a joint account.
But honestly, bro, you're not paying from the joint account. You're paying from your side of the joint account. That's what you're really doing.
Oh, man.
So that's what I'm saying, man. If we really sat down and think about it financially, it don't make sense to eat out. It really don't. It really don't. It's too much expense. Gas, gratuity.
Mm-hmm.
My food is not always. That's also a bad thing. At least in a restaurant, you're able to take your food back if it's not good.
That's true.
When you get home and you done got your socks and shoes and stuff off and you relax and that thing ain't right, you at home now. But that's why you do the J.E. check.
The J.E. double check.
Bro, I don't care how long the line is behind me. I'm looking at between the buns because I'm going to hate you. If I drive off and I got to get back behind, because right now we in quarantine time, so them lines are long, and I got to get back in the back of that line. because you got my meal wrong. No, ma'am.
Right.
Okay. And sometimes they try to get you when you get double fries. These don't look like it's double the fries.
This ain't double the fries.
You don't try to play me, bro. This ain't double.
You gave me 15% more fries. Is what you gave me. I said double the fries. I didn't say give me a few extra fries. I said double the fries.
And I can tell when it's not double the fries by the weight, by the shake too. That sounds like a lot of air in there. Fries just sliding all over the place. Double fries. Okay, that's double. Because let me tell y'all something. Y'all don't know that I'm judging you off the weight. So when you hand me the thing, I already know if it's right or not. I just put it right back to you. That's not everything. That's not it. That thing, my hand's like a natural weigher. I know when I paid extra.
That's right.
So man, I mean at the crib 9 times out of 10.
I feel you. I'd have to agree.
Certain foods you have to eat there. There's just certain foods you have to eat there, and that's just unfortunate.
Right. Hop in the comments. Let us know for you which one has that you would choose. Would you rather dine in for the rest of your life, or would you rather take your food to the crib? I think it's a good question. I think it's an interesting debate. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about it, because for me, I gotta choose. I gotta eat at the crib, man. There's nothing better than eating in the comfort of my own home.
Yep.
But let us know what your perspectives are on that. Maybe you can sway our opinion. Other than that, I think that's all we've got. J.E., you got anything else? Any words of wisdom you want to throw on the people at the last minute?
Man, not the last minute. We done gave y'all 50 minutes of that.
All right. Well, like I always say, if you have not hit the subscribe button, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so that you get post notifications, hop in the comments, interact with us, smash that like button. Smash the like button if you enjoy the content, and tell your friends about the Good Guys Podcast. Share it on Facebook. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Instagram at Good Guys Pod, and Facebook, the Good Guys Podcast. So check us out there. We post clips and snippets on our social media pages. So check those out. Share them with your friends. Other than that, I'm Brandon Dixon. I'm a happily married man, a humble father of 4. He is J.E. Joshua Ezzy, the Rev, Slim Rev, happily married as well. We're the Good Guys Podcast. We're only good because he's good. I took it from you.
Wow. You knew I was coming.
I took your stuff.
We're only good because he's good. Peace.
Peace.